And funny enough, this is actually one of the post titles. And this is from Blessed CRS. And they're asking if there's any system mechanics that protects you and your group for a short while after you successfully take down someone's caravan. Just enough to heal and recover, maybe prevent an instant third partying from another group. My question is this something that you'd want to see? Is this something that you think would be a good idea?
I get the point of view. I like the idea of just the Wild West. And besides, you're an attacker. You just pillage somebody else. Why should you get afforded any luxuries?
Right.
I don't know. Like I could definitely see the perspective where it's like, hey, like let's get a reset in, because it's not fun being third partied by somebody that watched like two parties duke it out and they just come in and clean house. But at the same time, that's kind of the way PvP goes sometimes. So
right.
Yeah, it's a no for me, but what do you guys think?
Sorry, bear with me. My brain just completely exploded. As soon as I went to speak, I was like, wait, what?
Do you like the idea of after you've successfully attacked a caravan and taken it down, do you like the idea of there being time for you to rest and recover just a little bit before being able to be attacked by a third party, or not?
Yeah, gotcha. I don't think I do, to be honest. That's not exactly what I was going to say. I had literally like a thought in mind, and as soon as you were like, okay, Vertec, it just exploded and disappeared. But okay. No, I don't think I like having that rest point, because that's kind of the idea. All right, it's like you take over someone's caravan, and it's going to take you time to gather everything and get it on the road for yourself, and to get somewhere and take it along with you. To keep as much money as possible, it's going to take some effort. Mm-hmm. So I think there really shouldn't be any kind of protected downtime there.
I'm gonna go ahead and take the moment to kind of, I guess, plug Zillin's video here. Zillin has an opinion, and also you might get a kick out of our requested to be a part of and scripted out skit that he made, including us. So
I'll save that for later.
Yeah, it's rather
actually pretty good. Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
But then he kind of breaks down into his thoughts on, the attackers versus the defenders, and like his thoughts on who's maybe got a disadvantage and who's maybe not so much a disadvantage.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a good one. So the next question is, no, not really a question, but Caravan Loot as Glint is as good as a chocolate teapot, which I thought was a rather interesting title.
That was very interesting.
Yeah. And this is from Arya Yishi. They said Caravan Loot should match the cargo the caravan was transporting. If the loot is bulky, attackers should bring mules and wagons to snatch it and get away. Attackers would essentially become defenders, albeit labeled as criminals now. Everybody else should have free reign to dish out some street justice and assault the criminals defending the caravan. And this is kind of that whole idea that goes along the same vein of like, no, like it should be fair game. You stole somebody else's stuff, and now you should be prepared to defend the stuff that you just stole.
Absolutely.
It was something that they were mentioning is the attacker should be able to successfully loot and haul away the treasure. It's pretty lousy to hand them glints that they'll just stuff in their pockets and nobody will be able to pickpocket or kill them to drop the glints. However, Kadak, C-A-D-A-C, commented said that glint can drop, but only on a percentage, on death, like Matt's. So as of now, you could never recapture the original total if they open the crates, kind of thing.
Yep.
But what are your thoughts on that? Just the whole idea of needing as much, I guess, carry weight as what the original caravan has, as well as the glint stuff dropping.
Yeah. So I agree. I think whatever caravan you bring, like you shouldn't be able to carry everything. So if you don't have, like if somebody has like the pimp my ride level like caravan with everything and the full max gear loadout, and you have something smaller, you should only be able to walk away with some of the stuff. I totally agree with that. The glint drop is interesting. I can definitely get behind this point because yeah, until you get to the home base and you to get it turned in and traded, it should be able to be exchanged among whoever gets it beforehand. I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense because yeah, like if you guys attack me, you know, just an innocent caravan driver, and you guys take my stuff, if somebody attacks you, like it would make sense that they would then get rewarded whatever you guys drop, right? I think that makes a lot of sense. I guess I didn't pay attention very much to that part. But yeah, that I like it. I like it.
I would need to go back and rewatch the video, the most recent one, and maybe even some of the Q&A or whatnot, just because I remember at one point there was talk about getting stolen glint from the caravans, but watching the video, I don't really recall him getting any glint. It was literally just more boxes that loaded right up into his caravan. And when he pulled up to the caravansary, like the caravan thing popped open and there was, you know, like coal and stuff. And then he had other goods that he grabbed out of there and took to the black market guy.
Yeah. I think that is kind of the differentiator. It's that, like, if you were to loot the boxes instead of put it on a caravan, you're given a lower quality reward, if you will, versus just kind of tossing it into like your caravan and not knowing what it is and just turning it in at the end stage. Mad Hatter responded and said he got commodities that he bought with the glint.
Okay.
But also, you know, the glint, like, potentially dropping upon death, whatever you may have gathered from the world before defending your initial caravan when they attacked you, they'd probably also pick up some of that glint as well, I would imagine.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, though, in the end, like, whatever they get, they're going to get more of it if they bring a caravan. So, like, a lot more of it, apparently. So, if they're going to not get a caravan and just stuff whatever they can in their pockets, all right. You just flushed a lot of money down the drain. But, I mean, it's whatever. But go for it.
But then you potentially, let's say you got a group of people, like, is there no one else? Nice, myself, you, and Taffy all jump this caravan. Instead of us spawning a caravan that we have to then defend ourselves, we all start, quote unquote, pillaging the caravan goods after successfully, you know, defeating it. And then we are able to go our own way with what we collected. And then that's an immediate payout, I guess, if you will, versus trying to create a mule or a caravan to then transfer the unopened goods and then have to defend that for a greater reward. So it's kind of like, which risk do you want to go with? Yep. It makes sense to me to a degree.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And for that, I think it's fine. I like the idea in general. But the next topic, I thought this would be kind of interesting to talk about. This is from the forums as well. Doran is talking about having a table that you can draw, like a route that you want to go, like down from like node 1 to node 2. And you and the caravan defenders can kind of interact with it. So let's think of this from a guild perspective, right? The guild leader is like, hey, I really want to try to push this grouping of commodities from Miraleth to Winstead, and I think we should go this direction, and it will allow the other like PvP generals or the caravan generals to kind of be able to give best ideas of a route and things like that. And I thought that was really interesting. I wanted to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I like this one too. This is a really cool idea. I think this is a great idea because, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to feel very good if you get your caravan sacked, and having these abilities to draw up route plans and everything so everybody stays on track. Being able to employ rogues or rangers as scouts out in the area to send them out beforehand, be like, hey, this is the route we're going. Maybe go venture out towards that direction, see if there's any big 20 or 30 mans roaming the area and see what's going on. And yeah, I think this idea is super cool. And even if they don't incorporate it in the game, this might be something that I just do on Discord. Like this is a great idea. This is awesome. So makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. I talked Blast into covering it as well. I feel so honored. Honestly, you don't have to talk us into it. If I like the idea, it's coming on the podcast if I see it in the forums.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So it was a good suggestion.
Definitely something that I like the idea of. When I first started reading this, I thought it was going to be something along the lines of, you put the map down and you draw out your route, and then it's like going to be a glowing road or whatever when you're walking down the road.
Oh, sure.
And I thought, as neat as that might sound, that's going to make sure that definitely no streamer can possibly do the node thing. Because if you plan it out ahead of time before you start your stream, it's going to just show you a glowing line on the road and potentially on your regular map if you open your map. And I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, that would definitely kind of decentivize streamers from streaming a caravan run, if you will. Which honestly, that's a whole other conversation that I'm interested in getting into more so tomorrow night for our Tavern Talk video. But let's say you created this wonderful idea of a route and you take your caravan down this route. Should there be magically sealed caravan crates? So that way it can help with kind of forcing whoever raids your caravan to complete said delivery to get paid.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure how that would. I have to think about that. Okay, I'm gonna think out loud because that's way better than me just thinking quietly. I think in some situations, like you might exchange at the same spot, but I think more often than not, you'll probably, like, if as an attacker, I feel like I would exchange somewhere else because my fear would be, okay, if I just looted this caravan that's coming from this node and they were traveling to this node, there's a decent chance these two might be allied. And if I try to travel to that node and they like, I feel like there'd be a decent chance I get attacked by the node whose resources I took from them. And so I might not want to do that, but it's a cool idea. It's a cool idea. Maybe if you provided an option for one reroute or something like, I don't know. It's a fun idea to think about for sure.
I think in general, the idea is like having it magically sealed so that you can't just pop it open. You have to just turn it in somewhere.
Okay.
Tyrant says perhaps this is the level of added security. That's a good idea, but you shouldn't be able to add too much security to your shipments. So, and just kind of like poking around at that idea. My name will be Rogue Reporter.
Rogue Porter.
I love it. Rogue Porter. Nice.
So I think it would be neat with some caveats. Kind of like Tyrant Thraxis was saying, adding too much stuff to it is just going to make it more of a pain in the neck, which, we did say that, or at least I said that I wanted some extra risk for attackers, right? But mainly I think it would be neat if one of the, I forget the word that Steven used for it, but basically the little artifacts that you can get that will be stored in a node, like in the Metropolis or what have you, that when the node gets taken down, other people can steal it out of your reliquary. Yeah, the relics.
Sure.
If it were one of those relics and it actually required some form of power to be fed to it, like even using glint as the power source or what have you, you have to feed it some glint in order for it to protect your caravan's goods, like paying a tax, and the caravanserai works as the officiator of using that relic to protect the goods. But maybe only one or two nodes can possibly have one at any given time, and nobody else can have them. Because there's only two in the entire server at any given time, so there would be another contested type item.
Sure.
Which, Amir could totally use that as a bargaining chip to get just some extra money or trade percentage, or
True.
to persuade someone to not siege them. Just how about I just give you this and you give me like 100,000 gold and we just be friends?
I kind of also like it as an idea of a class utility. So if you have like a mage or a sorcerer, someone who can use Arcana to maybe magically lock the item, you don't have too many that you can do that with, but I thought that might be an interesting use of a skill.
Sure.
Actually.